Hey, and welcome, you guys. I hope that you can hear me okay. Looks like my mic is working right. I missed you guys. Your girl is not feeling so well. I'm a little bit under the weather, looking a little twisted. So we're going to tackle this video off screen, and hopefully I will have myself together enough for this live that I'm supposed to be doing with Inga and Shayna on Sunday. But I digress. Before we get started, my kids are already going. It's the summertime, y'all. Before we get started, please like the video. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section. Stick around till the end. Share the video where you share your videos. And please, please, please turn on your notifications. We are here for College Hill Celebrity Edition Season 3, Episode 4, Lost in the Sauce. And that sauce be Saucy Santana, baby, okay? Because Saucy is, with the shits. Very much with the shits. Oh, God, let's get into it. So we pick up where we left off with Carlos and Tamar discussing like what needs to be done while they're watching Saucy with the air quote tutor, which is really at the club. So now Saucy finally manages to bring himself home around 5 o'clock in the morning, and he's just like waking everybody up. He says his castmates are old. He needs to have a good time. But, I guess they sleeping just a little bit late, just a little bit longer. Why we got to be up at 5 o'clock? He doesn't really care. So then finally, he goes and takes his behind to sleep. So now when it's time to get up, he's asleep. Now they're headed to the Whitney plantation for the communication class. So it's a field trip. I think it was also a weekend day. So Saucy was like, oh, I needed some Pepto. And I think he said production. Somebody was supposed to be getting him Pepto. So he was like, he ain't going. Like, it's a field trip. He's not going. But a field trip is part of the class. This is part of their grade, which I guessed. And I was right when we saw later on when the professor was talking about it. But baby, I said, I have to watch. I got this pop thing for my mic and I thought it was going to like stop that. Yeah, no, I feel like it just makes it more clear. So I have to be more cognizant of that. But why is Carlos always looking at the camera, y'all? He be looking like ninja, right at the camera. It takes me out every time. So as they're pulling up to the plantation, everybody stands Saucy. It's feeling kind of heavy. They get in this vibe. The vibe doesn't feel kind of great. So they take a tour. They see the slave quarters. They see where they got punished. And also there's a memorial for kids who died in slavery. So a little bit later on at the Wall of Honor, Carlos gives a little spoken word. I was vibing. Your girl loves a little spoken word. And then Tamar starts singing this little light of mine. If you don't know, yeah, okay. So everybody kind of joins in, but everybody took something from the trip, and the teachers or professors saying that she wishes Santana was there. And I did too, because I know for sure he definitely would have got something out the trip. There's nothing like learning about your history. Specifically, you're going to a HBCU. So that's the great part of going to a HBCU, is to get that culture, is to get that lesson. And then you're in New Orleans of all places. Now, when your girl goes to New Orleans for Mardi Gras, I'm going to be turning up. I probably won't get to the Whitney plantation. I'll probably have to make a and he's like, he wasn't. Well, look who done did a 180. So back at the house, Saucy is still asleep, and Nick's like, nah. Come on. It's too, get it up. So he's trying to get him together, and they're outside talking, and Saucy's just kind of giving him pushback, these two going back and forth. So Carlos kind of jumps in the conversation, but Saucy's saying like, it wasn't class, it was a field trip. And Nick's like, he just wants him to take it seriously, but Saucy's being combative. And Carlos has to kind of step in. And I said, Nick be catching strays all the time. First with Carlos, calling him stupid. I think Saucy said something about, and I tell him to shut up and dribble. That was Carlos. And now Saucy was like, something like, just because you can't play ball no more. I don't know if he said he blew his knee out, but I was just like, ooh, baby. Like, they better be lucky, because my feelings would be hurt. But Nick handles everything like a trooper. and kind of, dust his shoulder off. So Santana says, like, I didn't drop classes, like, I'm still coming. And he feels like it's rich kind of coming from Carlos, which I get because Carlos has been acting a fool prior to now. Like I said, he's made a 180. His head is in the game. He's not giving people as many pushback that we've seen. We're going to see next week when they get to this debate what happens, but he's been doing much better. So Carlos says, like, next week, like, we're going to do homework as a group and school comes first. He's like, you go to the club, I go to the club. Like, he's saying he's going to be on Saucy's body, basically, to make sure they get it done as a group. And I will say this group, more so than the other seasons, I mean, you guys can get down in the comments to correct me if I'm wrong, feels like much more of a tight unit. Like, they want to literally one band, one sound. Like, if one's going, they all going. And they kind of want to be looked at in a positive light, which you should, because the professor gets into that a little bit later about how HBCUs are revered. So you don't want to give that negative presentation. So the group goes out that night. No, my child is not. Hold on one second, y'all. Lord, child, I didn't tell you because you were outside. Anyway, so the group goes out and everyone gets to meet JR. And I forgot he's from New Orleans, and I don't know how I could forget that. I think Saucy's like, I like him. He's like a white black boy. I said, yeah, but JR's with the shit. And JR is for the streets. So he's teaching them how to eat crawfish. And everybody's just happy to be out of the house. It's drinking, minus Angela. And everybody's just having fun and having a good time, even though they still have to have homework. They have to still do homework. I'm like, oh, this was not thought out. Y'all definitely should have done that homework first. And as a reward, taking your behind outside. But I digress. So now when they get back, folks have had too much to drink and the bill is not finished and they're supposed to present it in the morning. Now, Claudia was the only one that looked like she was going to try to get some work done, like everyone kind of just got in their bed and called it a day. So the next morning, Claudia emailed the professor for extra time. Angela is the first one on that sprinter, and they end up leaving Saucy, who says he's going to make the next one. So the professor gets started without Saucy. I forgot which class this is, and they're talking about child, I'm like, then existentialism. I think I said it wrong, but it's okay. And Carlos is talking about freedom of choice, and we kind of bring up, Saucy has freedom of choice and he's making the wrong choices. So Saucy is on his way, because I definitely thought, I'm like, Saucy is not about to show up for this class, but he ends up missing the first class but making the next one. And the professor is talking to them about the importance of showing up and being prepared. This is in the next class. This is their media class. This is the one that he missed the field trip. The importance of them showing up and being prepared. And I feel like that was strictly for Saucy, especially based on the conversation later. And she talks about the stigma of HBCU and how hard they have to work when they get into the real world, because they feel like they're lazy, the rep that Black folks can get sometimes. So as a HBCU, she said they shine the light on those being ignored. So for their drill, they will interview 2 of the remaining citizens of Fayetteville. I hope I said that right. So this was 100 years, like it was just outside of slavery, and they were on this land for 100 years, thriving until in comes the government in 1964 and takes over the land. I forgot what they used it for. It doesn't really matter. So 2 of the remaining ladies, Ella and Irene, sit down with the students, and each of the students kind of get to ask them a question and kind of get a feel for, certain things. So it sounds like it's one of those stories of the women are saying at first, like, it wasn't so nice, but they, they zhuzhed it up. And we gonna make something out of nothing. That's what we gonna do. That's kind of where soul food came from. If you did not know, we were getting the scraps and we made it, a feast. So one of the families got offered like $6,000, but she feels like, the land was priceless. So Angela, one of the questions she asked was, can they do something like this again? And the lady's like, yeah, anything's possible. I would love to see it. This one, and I can't think of the other one. It's going to evade me. But there's a couple of them that, were burned down, even that were majority Black towns and thriving. And, I would love to see it. I really would. Call it what you will. So the ladies kind of advised the group that they need to educate themselves, buy land, and look out for each other. That's like the 3 main gems that they give to the group. And I was like, you gotta soak in that wisdom. When you're blessed to get that wisdom from the older community, take it in. These are women who are they're essentially historical figures. So at lunchtime, they are working to try to get something done with this bill. So when they get to class, they've put something together, but it's not done to its best. So being that they already sent the email to the professor, he's like, I canceled the presentation because he wanted a quality product. Baby, college don't play. HBCU or not, college does not play. You're not gonna half step up, and you're supposed to present for this major figure. I was like, yeah, I knew somehow that wasn't gonna work. And I guess they did the College Hill group, or maybe on one day, and they did the regular HBCU students on another day, because I hope they didn't mess these students up. So the professor is basically saying, as of right now, everybody has a failing grade. I said, damn, it's a whole lot. So Carlos is kind of saying, like, the workload is overwhelming. I can only imagine. Like I said, your girl wants to go back to school and finish her BA, but it's going to be literally, we're going to start with one class at a time and see how it goes, because this that they're doing this accelerated program, yikes. So then the professor says, when he was in his PhD program, he had a kid and lots of other stuff to do, but he figured it out. He made a way. So, once hearing that, there's no excuses. He doesn't want to hear you make any excuses as to what you can and can't done. You can't get done. Get her done. So he tells them that, they do have a chance to redeem themselves and present in 3 days. All while I said, baby, not Saucy dozing in class and like a little snoring and everything. But I was kind of glad that the professor gave them a second opportunity. So if they got like a little bit of a start, hopefully they can expound upon it and give a crystal clear, concise, wonderful presentation in the next 3 days. And they really, we're going to see. They better get it done. So the advisor, I forgot her name was, Dr. something, she wants a word with Mr. Santana. He's been missing classes. He's like, I missed one class. And she's like, yes, but it's an accelerated program. You missed a field trip and you're falling asleep in class. So she wants to have a meeting between him and his professors. But he's like, I'm busy between those hours. I'm busy. Saucy busy doing what? Somebody get down in the comments and tell me what Saucy was busy doing. Because So Saucy's hot. He got a whole attitude. The advisor is really not having it. So Tamar and Nick kind of walk up on it and they try to talk to him and get him to go to the meeting. He doesn't listen. We see him in the Sprinter at some point headed back to the house, is what it looks like to me. I could be wrong. He doesn't go. And so just the advisor sits down with the professors. He hasn't turned in any assignments in his media class, as well as not attending the field trip. She later says that the students say they feel ashamed. And this is the whole thing that she was saying about showing up at HBCUs and the perception of HBCUs. And even the students are feeling an effect. But I don't think that me personally, I don't think that they should take that on their shoulders, because we tend to do that a lot. We tend to take others' actions on our shoulders. And this small group should not be reflective of a whole group. Now, I get how society rolls. So even though I say that, there's somebody that's going to take that small group as to, representing, the whole HBCU of Xavier, which we shouldn't do, because this is a small celeb group. He's yet to show up to his diaspora class. The poli-sci professor says, he hasn't been participating and he has been dozing off. So the housemates are kind of having the same conversation about he needs to get his act together. He needs to not be combative. He needs to listen. He needs to put forth an effort, all of the things. But at the end of the day, the professors talk redemption. Like, they would love to give him an opportunity to redeem himself, but he has to show up. And that's essentially where the show ends. Baby, I cannot believe I got through this show so quickly. So the next episode, it looks like they're going to work on the bill. They're going to get to present the bill. The guy is going to look like Skyping or FaceTiming in. So that's cool. They got midterms and I heard somebody say a final coming up, and they're going to have a debate, and maybe it looks like it's going to get a little bit heated. So I've been enjoying the show. I hope you guys have also. Please make sure, try to find my banners. My mouth is moving faster than my brain. Please make sure you guys leave a comment down below. Also, please help your girl get to 500. 715 is right around the corner, but I'm super duper excited that we are at 300. So let's bring that next 2 up because I want to get to that 1K by the end of the year. I appreciate you guys ever so kindly. If you guys are into Power Book 2, come back and check me out. Also, I'm supposed to be doing a panel on Sunday. So basically, just keep your notifications on. I appreciate you all, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.